My mom and dad taught me the importance of accountability and hard work. My dad really taught me the idea that you can be anything you want to be. You just have to put the elbow grease into it. Bernadine Munley she's allergic to seeing somebody in the family not working hard, and she impressed that on me. And Bob Munley, he talked to me about accountability, and particularly in teaching me to be a lawyer. He was an amazing, inspirational leader. I remember one time I came back from losing a trial, and I was mad because the insurance lawyer had pulled a dirty trick on me. Sprung some evidence that he had been hiding in the case and should have turned it over earlier. It was a dirty trick, and it did cause me to lose the case, and he got away with it. And boy, I was mad. And I came back to the office, and you'd have to walk right by Bob Munley's office to get to yours. And I said, you know what he did to me? And he said, stop right there. You lose a case, it's not your opponent's fault. It's not the jury's fault. It's not your client's fault, not the witness's fault. It's not the judge's fault. You lose a case, it's your fault. And until you accept that and incorporate that in your thinking, you're never going to get better. My wife, Marion Munley, is the hardest working human I've ever met. And she has this little saying taped to the wall over her desk, and it says this: the harder I work, the luckier I get. Well, I wanted to be a lawyer because my mother was a lawyer and my godfather was a lawyer. They both went to Albany Law School. So my mother was an influence. My godfather was a lawyer as well, and I always looked at it as an honorable, productive way to spend your life. My panel funded the Supreme Court of the United States, and we would have to meet them from time to time to talk about their financial needs. And I met Justice Amy Coney Barrett, and she sees me, and she makes a beeline to me, and she says, "You're Congressman Cartwright, aren't you?" And I was taken aback. I said, "Madam Justice Barrett, nice to meet you." "Yes, I am." And she said, "And your mother was at Albany Law School in 1951, wasn't she?" We talked a lot about my mother and the trouble she had in law school, and they were mean to her, and we had some stories to trade about that. But that was a good day, thinking about my mother up in heaven, listening to her name being bandied about in the Supreme Court of the United States. That was a good birthday. We have two boys, Jack and Maddie. Jack is 32, Maddie's 29. We couldn't be prouder of them. If you ask me, what achievements am I proudest of in my life? It's those two boys. Well, I want to be remembered as a good person, somebody who cared about doing the right thing and making a good account of myself. That's what I set out to do. I go back to my father. I give him credit for so much. We lost him 6 years ago. But he taught me, do scary things. Do things that scare you. And that's what bravery is, right? Bravery is not the opposite of being scared. Bravery is being scared and making yourself do it anyway. And I've done a lot of things that I'm proud of because they were scary, and it took some bravery to do them. And number one on that list was asking Marion Munley to go out with me on a date. And it worked.